And news just coming in, the Maharashtra government has directed the FDA, the Maharashtra administration, to seize Remdesivir injections that are lying in the state of Maharashtra but are meant for export. There is an export ban at this point of time. They are neither being exported nor are they being sold in Maharashtra, nor are they being given to the state of Maharashtra where they are needed most. So the Maharashtra government has directed the FDA to seize all the Remdesivir stocks that are lying in the state of Maharashtra. Let's listen in to Nawab Malik before I get you more on this big story.
महाराष्ट्र सरकार खरीदना चाहती है तो बेचने वालों को रोका जा रहा है। हमें लगता है ये कौन सा रवैया केंद्र की सरकार अपना रही है? क्या ये भेदभाव का रवैया है? क्या महाराष्ट्र में रहने वाले भारत में हैं कि नहीं, ये केंद्र की सरकार को बताना पड़ेगा। अगर केंद्र सरकार ने इसी तरह का दूजा भाव का रवैया अपनाया तो हमें लगता है कि महाराष्ट्र की और देश की जनता देख रही है। हमारे पास और कोई दूसरा चारा नहीं। हमने हमारे जो फूड एंड ड्रग एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन के मंत्री हैं उनसे चर्चा की है। उन्हें कहा है कि कहाँ कहाँ ये स्टॉक है जानकारी लीजिए और सारा मामला सीज करके लोगों में तकसीम कीजिए। अगर इसी तरह से केंद्र रवैया अपनाएगी तो राज्यों को भी कानून के तहत जो अधिकार है उसके तहत कार्रवाई करके अपने लोगों की जान बचाने के लिए काम करना पड़ेगा।
I quickly want to cut across to India Today's Vidya, breaking this big story on India Today. Vidya, have these raids started? Are raids on? And why have things come to such a pass that the Maharashtra government has to direct the Food and Drug Administration to go seize all stocks of Remdesivir in the state?
Well, Maharashtra government is very clear on this aspect. The fact that remdesivir production will really pick up in the next 8 to 10 days. But the next 8 to 10 days are the ones which is extremely crucial. That they don't have the medicines for this, and for procurement of these medicines, they have been asking the central government to either decentralize it, one, or secondly, let the state government procure it from whichever company it is. But according to the Maharashtra government, what they are being constantly told by the companies is that the central government is the one which is asking them not to go ahead and sell it to Maharashtra government, and it is because of this that now that the FDA has been ordered by the Maharashtra government to go ahead and seize. I spoke to the FDA commissioner and they said that they are in, the entire plan is in the pipeline. They are doing it, and most probably by tomorrow they will have something more for the people of Maharashtra to deal with if anyone's been COVID infected. And
okay, I have Tom Vardhan of the Bharatiya Janata Party joining me on the show. I also have Priyanka Chaturvedi, Rajya Sabha Deputy Leader of the Shiv Sena, with me on the broadcast. Also with me is Dr. Shama Mohammed of the Congress Party. But quickly, Tom Vardhan, that's a grave allegation that's being leveled by the state of Maharashtra, that center is being accused of stepmotherly treatment when it comes to Maharashtra. Stocks are available, drugs are available, but not being made available to Maharashtra. Tom Vardhan.
The point is, Gaurav, when they knew that this was a situation that they could do and act, what you have here is a hearsay from the company saying that not to be given to Maharashtra. Based on that, you have the NCP spokesman coming out and saying that the center has directed that it should not be given to Maharashtra. That's a pure hearsay, and on that basis, to allege that this medicine should not be given to Maharashtra is not logical, number one. Number two, as to the question of the oxygen issue.
Sir, I'll come to oxygen in just a moment. I'm coming to oxygen in just a moment. Can I get Priyanka Chaturvedi to respond to what Nawab Malik also said? Nawab Malik says seize stocks of Remdesivir in the state of Maharashtra for distribution. Priyanka Chaturvedi, why have things come to such a pass? I'll come to oxygen in just a moment. But Remdesivir, again, a very critical drug at this point of time. Though many doctors say whether it's really required or not, it depends on medical advice. But why seize stocks, ma'am?
I'll tell you why. You must understand that under the Indian Epidemic Act, while health is a state subject, it is now being controlled by the center. All the regulation, all the sales, all the stock is controlled by the center. So when the centre has been apprised, when the Chief Minister and the Prime Minister meeting happened, when he was apprised that there is a shortage of Remdesivir and this needs to be sorted, as well as when Chief Minister was addressing the people of the state, he did mention there's a shortage of Remdesivir and we are sorting that out. The Prime Minister, through Ministry of Home Affairs, had also seized any kind of export, had asked for any kind of exports to be stalled.
Yes.
What happens? Maharashtra is producing these medicines, Remdesivir. So obviously, if the export has been stalled, we are likely to purchase that stock. But what happens when we go to purchase the stock? We are told that we cannot be selling it to Maharashtra. I have just one simple question to ask the BJP spokesperson. If there was even an iota of untruth in this, what was spoken by the minister, then the entire Bharatiya Janata Party would be out on the streets screaming their lungs out and trying to, bring the true picture out.
Okay.
There is the truth, this is the truth, and there's only one person who trolled. The person happens to be the Commerce Minister of India, and he's the one who decides the export-import licenses and whose licenses can be cancelled. And he also happens to be the Rajya Sabha MP from Maharashtra. So those are questions which need to be asked of the
I'll get
Bharatiya
Tom
Janata
Vardhan
Party,
to respond
who
to
was
that.
taking those
I'll get
decisions.
Tom Vardhan to respond to that. I'll also get Shama Mohammed into this conversation. But before that, since the issue of oxygen or the paucity or shortage of oxygen supply has also been raised, Uddhav Thackeray, his government is claiming that when, again, Nawab Malik is claiming that when Uddhav Thackeray tried to reach out to the Prime Minister, he could not because he was told by the Prime Minister's office that the Prime Minister is campaigning in West Bengal. Of course, Dr. Vardhan has reached out to Uddhav Thackeray, assured him that full supply will be made available. But Piyush Goyal has hit out at the Uddhav Thackeray government, virtually accusing him of petty politics at this time. Our Maharashtra Bureau with our top story.
असेल तर आपल्याला लष्करी तज्ञांची मदत घेऊन जर हवाई वाहतुकीने आमच्याकडे ऑक्सिजन आणू शकलो आपण आणि आणू शकत असू तर कृपा करून आम्हाला नुसती परवानगी नाही तर एअरफोर्सला सांगून आम्हाला मदत करायचे तसे आदेश द्या.
A raging fire on oxygen supply. A full-blown political war. Centre and Maharashtra lock horns over alleged shortage of life-saving oxygen. Uddhav, who dialed Prime Minister Modi yet again for additional supplies, claimed that he was told that Prime Minister Modi is busy campaigning in Bengal and will call him back. Trinamool Congress added to Aghadi's onslaught and accused Modi of giving preference to campaigning over lives. The centre, however, hit back at Uddhav, calling his claims petty and shameless political gimmick. Union Minister Piyush Goyal said Maharashtra has got highest quantity of oxygen.
अरे पहला महाराष्ट्र के सीएम अवेलेबल है कि उसका देखो, राज्य उनके आरोग्य मंत्री और उनके फूड एंड ड्रग मिनिस्टर इनको कितने अवेलेबल है वो देखो, तो पीएम की बात करो. मुझे लगता है यही राजनीति की खेल करके अपना जो फेल्यूर है वो डाइवर्ट करने का सिस्टमैटिक साजिश है.
The Maharashtra government has also accused the centre of blocking Remdesivir injections to the state, a charge denied by Union Health Minister himself.
20 लाख इंजेक्शन एक्सपोर्ट नहीं हो सकते, कोई पॉलिसी सरकार नहीं बना पा रही है. महाराष्ट्र सरकार खरीदना चाहती है तो बेचने वालों को रोका जा रहा है. हमें लगता है ये कौन सा रवैया केंद्र की सरकार अपना रही है? क्या ये भेदभाव का रवैया है?
रेमडेसिविर की उपलब्धता को और उसकी कमी को ठीक प्रकार से जल्दी हैंडल किया जाए, इसके लिए जो हमारा मंत्रालय है फर्टिलाइजर्स और केमिकल्स का, उसका भी पूरा सहयोग है. उसके सहयोग से भी जो सभी बड़ी कंपनियां इसको बना रही हैं और इसके साथ साथ इस दवा का एक्सपोर्ट जो है वो भारत से बाहर उसको बैन किया गया है.
The Trinamool Congress has also jumped into the row, expressing shock over PM's alleged refusal to talk to Maharashtra Chief Minister. TMC released a video attacking Modi over surge of COVID cases and deaths. Earlier, Prime Minister Narendra Modi called up an influential seer of revered Juna Akhada, urging a symbolic kumbh. This to stop spread of COVID.
लगभग सभी स्नान बड़े ढंग से हो चुके हैं। बहुत कम संख्या यहाँ रह गई है। प्राय स्नान करके सब लोग चले गए। जो अन्य अखाड़े हैं प्राय वो सब प्रतीकात्मक ही स्नान करते हैं। ये जो स्नान है वो प्रतीकात्मक ही होता है।
Opposition, however, called it too little, too late, as lakhs have already taken Shahi Snan.
जैसा लास्ट दिल्ली में जो कार्यक्रम हुआ अपना मुस्लिम बांधवों का 27 लोग आने के बाद जो बढ़ गया, वैसे भी आज भी हर राज्य में ये लोग प्रसाद जैसा कोरोना बांटेंगे और बहुत ही हर राज्य इफेक्ट होगा।
कमाल है भारतीय जनता पार्टी का। चुनाव की रैली कम नहीं कर सकते, चुनाव की रैली नहीं रोक सकते, लेकिन कुंभ को प्रतीकात्मक किया जा सकता है। अगर कुंभ को प्रतीकात्मक किया जा सकता है तो रैली को भी वर्चुअल रैली किया जा सकता है। वहां भी लोग आते हैं। ऐसा तो है नहीं कि वहां पे जो लोग आते हैं उसमें कोरोना नहीं आएगा भारतीय जनता पार्टी की रैली में।
केंद्र की हमारी सरकार ने
Modi, Shah and Mamta took part in public rallies and meetings on Saturday. This amid calls to rein in crowd, which often disregard COVID safety. Bureau Report, India Today.
Tom Varakkan respond to Shiv Sena saying that the centre is resorting to stepmotherly treatment, trying to show the Uddhav Thackeray government in poor light, because Uddhav Thackeray on the 13th of April had raised the issue of requirement for oxygen, had also requested the Prime Minister, and in a public press conference or a statement, that oxygen may need to be airlifted and use the Indian Air Force, and yet their allegation is nothing has been done.
Gaurav, let me add that this whole issue came up and started off at Nashik, where people were dying because of lack of oxygen. It is then that the government, the dispensation that is in Maharashtra, woke up to this fact that there is lack of oxygen in the city. The reality is the government of Maharashtra knows very well where the black marketing of oxygen is happening and why it is happening. When they can do these raids on these companies, why are these people who are hoarding oxygen cylinders not raided? As to the question of supplying oxygen, the health minister has made it very clear that whatever is required will be supplied to the state of Maharashtra. Let it be very clear, we are not playing politics. This is about the lifeline of my country, of our country. Okay, this is not about Maharashtra. This is not about Kerala. This is about life across the country. So there is no question of compromises. And as to the question of a telephonic conversation, which was supposed to have happened, the Prime Minister was definitely, the reality check was in Bengal. So when he came back, he immediately ordered the health minister to speak.
Okay.
And now, what is wrong? How does it show that he is...
Priyanka Chaturvedi, Piyush Goyal has accused Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray of petty politics. Petty politics, not being able to handle the situation and then resorting to petty politics.
Let me complete.
See now.
Okay, if I may, the state is suffering from inept and a corrupt government is the indication that BJP says. It says people of Maharashtra are following Maja Kutum, Maji Jawabdari dutifully. Time the Chief Minister did the same of Maja Raj, Maji Jawabdari.
Maybe he should also handle his jawabdari. His jawabdari is to be the Railway Minister of India without any bias towards the state, and especially the state he represents in the Rajya Sabha. Maybe his jawabdari towards being the Commerce Minister who decides whose export licenses can be cancelled and whose export licenses will be maintained. Those who sell Remdesivir to Maharashtra, their licenses will be taken away, is a call decided by the Commerce Ministry. So maybe he should look at his jawabdari. And before accusing the state of petty politics, maybe he should look at how he has been behaving like a troll for past so many days. Whether it is about, when the Chief Minister raised the question about lack of vaccines, the Health Minister went on to claim there's no vaccine shortage. Then all the states rose up and say that there is a vaccine shortage. Uttar Pradesh saw it. Their own states like Haryana saw it. Gujarat has seen it, but they don't have the guts to say it. Madhya Pradesh doesn't have the guts to say it, but Madhya Pradesh is facing that. Same with Remdesivir, same with oxygen supplies. Just that Maharashtra is being honest and transparent and letting it out that these are issues that we are facing and we need help.
Okay.
then it becomes politics for him, for a cabinet minister who's more a troll minister. So I think it's high time when Maharashtra is also following Majha Parivar Majhi Jawabdari, then maybe he should also follow the same
Dr.
rule
Shama
of
Mohammed.
Majha role and Majhi Jawabdari.
Okay, Dr. Shama Mohammed, Rahul Gandhi has also raised the question, about the suppression of truth. The truth, the health minister says, and gives the example of Chhattisgarh. You know, when Rahul Gandhi says there's a shortage of vaccines, when the Maharashtra Chief Minister talks about a shortage of vaccines, the health minister says, we've given Covaxin to Chhattisgarh, for example, and they refuse to use it in the state, even though it's been cleared. And their own ministers are encouraging this vaccine hesitancy, accusing the Congress of double standards, ma'am.
Thanks for coming to me finally. Gaurav, first and foremost, isn't this the same health minister who said that coronal can work against the COVID virus? This is the health minister we should believe in. It's a shameless health minister, let me tell you. First and foremost, he's not just the health minister, he's a doctor. And he says he goes and endorses coronal. When the medical fraternity questioned him on this, then he withdrew it. What sort of health minister is it? One. Now, Gaurav, the most important thing we all forget is, along with the Epidemiology Act, the National Disaster Management Act is on. So who is in charge? I mean, you keep blaming states out here. Who is in charge? Only one and only central government. They decide where the vaccines have to go.
Okay.
Who should be vaccinated. Can I please give me some time? When they should be vaccinated. Everything is with them. Right now, the Ministry of Home Affairs can say that they should not, because of COVID, there should not be any mass gatherings or more than 4 people. They can put it out because we have the National Disaster Management Act on. Once that they say it, then the EC can say that, you know what, there shouldn't be any gatherings anywhere, including the election campaigning in West Bengal.
Okay.
But nothing has been told. The Prime Minister of India, let me make a very important point. The Prime Minister of India, who should run back and pick up the call of Uddhav Thackeray, pick up the call of the Chhattisgarh CM, pick up the call of the Rajasthan CM, is sitting over there and campaigning in West Bengal. He does not care about the lives of Indians. If it was any other Prime Minister who had empathy, he would stop everything 3 or 4 days ago, run back to the center, get
Ma'am, you still haven't answered the question about Chhattisgarh not using Covaxin, though it's cleared by the center. But be that as it may. Be that as it may.
I don't believe the health minister. I don't believe this health minister. He's the one who keeps lying every other day.
Okay, Tom Varakan, please respond. Please respond. The Prime Minister, the Congress, both the Congress and the Shiv Sena say...
Gaurav, let me finish one point, please. I waited for a long time for my turn. Today, there are information coming out from UP that Dr. Lal's lab and another lab have been told not to test any COVID patients for the next 10 days. So they do not want any results out. I mean, what is happening? Suppression of reports in UP, suppression in Gujarat. The numbers don't match how many people have died of COVID. They say that, 5 people died, but the hospitals are coming out with more than 50 deaths or more than 50 deaths. So
please respond.
Why not tell the truth?
Why
this is a national
the Congress and the Shiv Sena both saying that the Prime Minister's campaigning in Bengal, he should be in Delhi, he should be responding to these issues when centers are raising the red flag on shortage of oxygen, on shortage of Remdesivir, also on coordinating the effort to battle COVID, sir.
Gaurav, this is very interesting. She is questioning the credibility of the health minister of this country. Does she know anything about this health minister? He had a flourishing practice in Delhi. And I know him personally. And a highly qualified doctor. If he has testified for something which the medical fraternity took it, because it was not it was an Ayurvedic medicine or whatever, Patanjali's product or whatever. But to question the credibility...
No, you have to answer. How did he endorse that?
Ma'am, let him respond.
He has to answer.
Ma'am,
why did a medical doctor endorse coronal?
Let every individual speak. Let every individual speak. I'll come back to you. You want to counter him, feel free to counter him. But let him at least make his point, ma'am.
Just like I took it.
Kindly tell her what the meaning of the word heckling is.
Because you're not answering the question.
Okay, only Tom Varakan, please. Tom Varakan, please respond.
Indians dying.
Yes.
We care
time is limited. I have several questions for the BJP, for the Congress, for the Shiv Sena. Let's go point by point. So please respond.
Calcutta. What was he campaigning? Did he stop campaigning? I mean, you have to set it by an example. your major player, your former president, is campaigning in West Bengal, and here you are preaching that the Prime Minister should not campaign. And isn't it part of democracy that you fight an election and he is the chief campaigner? So what's wrong in it? As to the question of answering the Maharashtra Chief Minister, immediate action was taken by the Health Minister, who came and responded and has made all arrangements for the necessary medicines, oxygen and what have you. So why are you being so petty? Now their Congress president talks about the age difference, that you should lower it to 25. Now let me tell you, the availability of vaccine has not been examined by anybody. 66 million doses is what they can produce per month.
Okay.
And if the age is changed, there will be no vaccine left for anybody. There has to be a proper control based on scientific report.
So that's why scaling up should have been done. When we were between the two waves, that's the point that even doctors are raising again on the issue of Remdesivir. But before, Priyanka Chaturvedi, once again, Piyush Goyal says Maharashtra is indulging in petty politics, whether it's Nawab Malik saying that PMO did not respond to the Chief Minister saying that the Prime Minister will respond when he comes back. He says he needs to stop his daily dose of shameless politics and take up responsibility of administering the state. Priyanka Chaturvedi, the centre says whatever is required, whatever issues are raised by Maharashtra, they are being addressed. For example, when you require oxygen, roll-on, roll-off facility, the railways is making oxygen available to Maharashtra as per requirement. Had it been raised earlier, it would have been provided earlier.
No. Allow me to speak here. I'll tell you what is petty. Petty is when you are a cabinet minister who's taken oath to the constitution, and constitutionally you are obligated to respond to every single state government, as well as whether you like that government in power or not, do not like it. You stop being a political person, you become a cabinet minister who's taken an oath to the constitution. So who's playing petty politics is an answer that everyone knows. And coming from Piyush Goyal, it's a bit rich, honestly. With regards to oxygen roll-off, roll-on facility, let me give you some examples. This entire oxygen demand was raised at the Prime Minister's meeting. And the Prime Minister had ensured that, yes, we will look into it. The entire railway, the credit that railway minister seems to take, he loves taking credit. I want to know where are that 1 lakh beds that he spoke about that railways have created. He is taking credit for some 21 coaches which will have 16 beds in each coach, which is total of 339 beds that he's provided in Nandurbar. And he's doing publicity worth 339 crore, shows who's doing petty politics. Now coming to roll on, roll off, it was announced late last night. And also I'll give you another example. When Sri Ambani, the Reliance Group, said that we are sending 200 metric tons of oxygen from Gujarat, Jamnagar factory to Maharashtra. Do you know what happened? It was stopped at the state border, Gujarat state border, from entering Maharashtra. Ministry of Home Affairs had to step in and say that you cannot stop interstate transfer of oxygen. This is what the ground reality is, and I would hope that the petty politics that Mr. Goyal speaks about, he looks within and understands his own hypocrisy. That to earn a few political brownie points and to please his masters, he will come and make these allegations. But I would say,
I would have thought that the entire country would be on the same page. I mean, every Indian is fighting this pandemic.
Our Chief Minister and our Minister of Labour have fulfilled their obligation to the state of Maharashtra by raising these demands and asking for what is due of Maharashtra.
Tom Vadakan, please respond. Merit in Priyanka Chaturvedi saying that, if Reliance was sending oxygen, it was stopped at the state border and the centre had to intervene to get it through.
That is the reality, what that happened. The cylinders, now it is the tankers should not be stopped, has been ordered. And the reality, so how do we blame the centre? The centre is doing what it can.
When there is
an obstruction,
the last thing you should do is explaining this.
If there's an obstruction on Gujarat border, that will be investigated, and we'll get to the bottom of it. But the point here is, when the tankers have been ordered, that there's no oxygen tanker that should be stopped. I mean, we are moving everything possible. Now, there is also this whole commitment of BARC, from getting oxygen from there. So every facility is being stretched, and Maharashtra is the soul of India in terms of.
Okay, Priyanka Chaturvedi wants to quickly respond before I bring in Dr. Shama Mohammed.
Just a few things. I'll just say just one very simple thing. If every facility is being stressed, why wasn't this anticipated? Why did the health ministry not warn the ECR that there is a second wave coming? Why were there no warnings given by the health ministry, central health ministry, that there could be a second wave which is worse off than the first? Our chief minister continued to tell the people of Maharashtra that you be aware that there is a second wave coming, because pandemic history shows that it does not go away in the first wave, and do not take, don't go into this thrill mode and celebration mode.
So in fact, there is a third wave that is feared at this point of time, but that's the question that the centre also raises about Maharashtra. Why didn't Maharashtra raise this demand and anticipate and raise this demand that that's being done at the 12th hour, if not the 11th, not the 11th hour? But Dr. Shama Mohammed, in midst of all of this, Rahul Gandhi raises the Shamshan and Kabristan point. Shouldn't every Indian be putting his shoulder to the wheel at this point of time, coming up with solutions instead of political point scoring, ma'am?
Gaurav, now you have to give me time. Otherwise, don't invite me for a debate if you want it between the Shiv Sena and the Bharatiya Janata Party. I have a couple of points to speak regarding what Mr. Vardhan said. He said that Rahul Gandhi is going and campaigning. That's what I told him. The MHA has the power to change the guidelines on mass gathering because the National Disaster Management Act is on. And who is in charge of the Ministry of Home Affairs? Amit Shah. Why doesn't he do it? When he does that, I'm going to explain it to you. Maybe if you don't understand English, Mr. Vardhan, maybe I'll do it in Malayalam for you. That when he says that, then the election commission can say no more campaigning. Do you understand that? So it is not, the onus is not on Rahul Gandhi. Number two, he mentioned about we have only these amount of vaccinations. So the 25-year, please Gaurav, if you interrupt me, then I will leave.
Ma'am, I have last 30 seconds on the broadcast. Since you've made a point, Tom Vardhan, quickly respond to that point. I will hold a longer debate. I promise you, Shama Mohammed, in the times to come. Last 30 seconds, Tom Vardhan, before I end the show.
Stop teaching me English, because the Constitution doesn't permit, when the Election Commission is in action, the laws do not permit to go over. And if she doesn't understand the Constitution, she was again, because she needs to go back to school.
I mean, what is the point then? The government of India has
English, so please, for the teachers, so leave it at that.
Why is he not giving the money?
We will continue to debate this in the days and weeks ahead. But I have run out of time, and I do apologize, Dr. Shama Mohammed, Tom Vardhan, and Priyanka Chaturvedi. But many thanks for joining me. My only sincere hope and request is every Indian must be together in this war against this enemy called coronavirus.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.